the Fed has announced important news about XRP, and in today's movie, you'll find out what it is. You'll just have to wait and see. Please hit the like button. Let's talk about cryptocurrency. That's great. 4 years ago, this would not have happened. The Fed used to ignore crypto, but now they're paying more attention to it when asked about it. There's a lot of discussion about the Fed possibly holding more Bitcoin on its balance sheet. This is the same as the strategic reserve for the bank. More and more people are talking about this, and Donald Trump is also very interested in it. I want to highlight something interesting. Jerome Powell totally ignored what Donald Trump said. I want to explain what this means and what the Federal Reserve might do next. I believe this will be great news for everyone, especially for those who own any cryptocurrency, particularly XRP. First, let's cover a few more topics. First, President Trump's quote about freezing. He said that if the Fed had focused less on diversity, women issues, green energy, and what he called fake climate change, inflation wouldn't have been a problem. Trump is highlighting a specific problem that confuses many people's views on politics today. The government brings up big problems like pandemics every few years that need a lot of money to fix. The problem is that the government never really fixes it. They are sharing a lot of false information to make it seem like they are addressing the problem. In truth, there are others who are making the situation much worse, but they are ignoring those facts. I believe one of those issues is climate change, correct? You are familiar with. When I was younger, almost every teacher talked about global warming. People finally saw that there isn't really any global warming. World temperatures are not rising because of human actions. They had to change the term from global warming to climate change. Donald Trump is making a point that I agree with. I believe in using more green energy and finding renewable energy sources. I believe that's really good for people. Using solar power to be self-sufficient is great because it means we don't rely on big oil and gas companies. That's great. I agree with these things. But when it comes to climate change, DEI, gender theory, this is where I really draw the line. I believe that when the Fed makes decisions based on trends instead of fussing on economic data, it hurts their goals. This approach makes them seem foolish and causes the public to lose trust in them. I believe this is a major reason why most people don't take Jerome Powell seriously, and I think he may soon leave his position. A lot of people will be putting political pressure on him, and I believe Donald Trump will be one of the main supporters of that. He's clearly showing this with his words. I believe it is possible to abolish the Fed this year. We need to consider what will happen if the Fed is no longer available. We'll explore that more in a few minutes. I think it will be really great. Regarding the economy, Jerome Powell mentioned a few other points. He says we can lower interest rates without having to wait for 2% inflation. I believe this is an important point. I want to say that most of the information from the Fed isn't reliable. They often change the numbers a few months later, and when you analyze the real inflation numbers, they don't match what the Fed reports. Understanding Jerome Powell's messages is a good way to predict his future actions. What he decides to do in the future will greatly impact when money is printed and when interest rates are lowered. He basically says we can lower interest rates without waiting for inflation to reach 2%. That's very important. Basically, he says that if inflation is at 2.4%, he will lower interest rates. If we're at 2.2%, he will lower. It's important to look at the numbers he's giving because they'll help us understand what he will do soon. Lowering interest rates and increasing the money supply will be good for cryptocurrencies because people don't want a product that loses value due to high inflation. People want to keep their money safe. XRP is the way, XBAR is the way in my point of view. We can also see some huge developments are happening on a state-by-state level in the United States. Number one, the Illinois state representative is introducing a bill to create a Bitcoin strategic reserve. This bill also covers information about a cryptocurrency store that includes more than just Bitcoin. The same applies to Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. He announced a new plan to create a Bitcoin reserve in Texas. You can view these papers from Dan Patrick, shown here. This is really great. We really need to tell our senators and congressmen in our states that we want this. They will represent us and work to make it happen because it's good for everyone. Most people in America now have some form of cryptocurrency in their investment account. I believe that having a Bitcoin reserve and a smart crypto reserve will help make XRP more popular and accepted. I have some good news about Ripple and XRP. The Wall Street Journal now has a full page dedicated to Ripple USD, highlighting the RLUSD. This is awesome. Over the course of the last 4 months, there's been so many new people joining into the XRP army. I believe this will continue to increase due to various factors. I think it's great that older generations can see how this technology is being used in ads. Additionally, ETFs will be very important for attracting more people who haven't yet invested in XRP. This is the first step towards something great. Now, talking about all that. Another good piece of news is that the SEC is starting a special team just for cryptocurrency. This will help build a clear set of guidelines. Bloomberg Crypto Today announced details about what the task group will look like. I'm going to play a clip for you all, as it will be very positive for XRP this year. And talk to us a little bit about what's going on with sab121.org. Let's discuss the financial details, because I'm looking at a tweet from Hester Peirce. As I said, people have started calling her the crypto mom. She says, goodbye to SAB121. It's been difficult. SecGov. Staff Accounting Bolton, number 122. What is happening here? Hester Peirce and Mark Hugh 8 are now 2 of the 3 members left in the SEC. There should be 5. We have to wait for Paul Atkins to likely be approved. You could say that SAB 121 might have been intended to be helpful by the SEC. Many people in the crypto business believe that some individuals act with bad intentions. It said that if you hold or manage your crypto assets, you should think about big companies like the Bank of New York Mellon, which takes care of $50 trillion in assets. They don't have $50 trillion in their accounts. If you're going to hold cryptocurrency, you need to list it as a risk. If you're a bank, you have to follow many rules set by regulators. They need to keep enough money to meet regulations. So like the fees they would earn from cussing those assets do not even come close to offsetting the legal costs of like holding assets to offset that. In simple terms, it made it almost impossible for traditional financial institutions to participate in the crypto market or hold crypto assets, even though many banks were interested in doing so. They noticed the money. They noticed the money there. New banks are arriving. I believe he did really well. James did an excellent job of explaining this. This is going to be wild. Okay, we're discussing $50 trillion in assets. We're making it easier for people to access cryptocurrency. This field is still growing. Banks will have more money as more money is being circulated, and this process will keep happening. Okay, as long as the Federal Reserve is in place and the current money system remains the same, there will be more dollars in circulation. So we might as well get more money into cryptocurrency so we can protect our wealth, and I'll also grow it over time. This is amazing, and I'm really looking forward to the future. I hope you all are as well. If you are, come join me on BTCC. Sign up to get a 10% bonus on your first payment, plus an extra $10,000 bonus for every user who joins that exchange. Join our Discord to be part of our trading group. See all my trades, and I'll catch you in the next movie. Goodbye.